Well, good afternoon, YouTube. We're out here in the sled shed, and I'm going to be showing you my latest restoration project. What we have here is a 1978 John Deere Liquifire, and she just received her coat of black paint last night. What I had to do is basically strip down most of the sled. I had to pull the engine, and I had to do a little repair on the skis, so I removed them and the steering arms. It just makes it easier to paint the engine compartment and get that detailed out a little bit. Before I painted it, I did prime the sled, so it was primed, and then we have this coat of black shiny paint. Now the 78 Liquifires, they have a small little radiator up here at the top, and then they have down in the tunnel right here, you can see the hose, they have a cooler down in there, so when the track is going through the snow, it throws the snow up onto that cooler in there. So the Liquifire engine has two ways to cool it down. I would guess that the small radiator up here is for when you have marginal snow conditions, and that will help when you're not getting a lot of snow tossed up on the tunnel cooler. This is a 440, and it was manufactured in March of 1977, so that makes it a 1978 model. In 1978, John Deere started lightening up their sleds. The engine plate here is a lighter aluminum than a 76. The steering connection down here is aluminum, where they were originally steel in the 76s, and they just used a lot of lighter weight. I think they even made the bumper lighter weight aluminum. This has really a nice bumper on it, and looks like it's never kissed a tree in its life, so that's pretty good. Usually they got a big dent in them, and they're almost impossible to straighten out, these bumpers on the 76 through 78 cycles and Liquifires. Later on today, I will be putting the skis back on. They're sitting over here, and you can see the rear grab bar that goes on the back end. I'm just going to let it set a little bit longer so the paint gets good and hard. It's really dry now, but when you start working on them, you want it pretty dry. It has the rubber cleated track on it. Pretty good shape. I'm going to have to do a little adjusting on it. It seems like it might be a little bit loose, so I'm going to tighten that up. I did work on the speedometer drive. Those always get jammed up, and it had the little pin twisted off that went into the driver, so that got pulled off, and that all got cleaned out and re-lubed, and a new pin in there, so that will be ready for the new speedometer. It needs a new speedometer. The other one was broke, and it will get a new cable and a new speedometer. The tack was good in it, so that will get installed back in. And while I had the speedometer drive, I checked the bearings, and both bearings are good. I do have the case off of the main drive here, because I wanted to check, make sure everything was good in there, and it was all good. So that will get, the lid will get cleaned up and reinstalled, and new oil put back in it. But this is just a little update of kind of what I start with when I'm working on these sleds. The wiring will get all checked over. This will have to get retaped, this wiring here, as this tape has dried up and come off. The dash will go back in. That will get refurbished, and the pad that goes on the arms, that got refurbished, and that'll be installed. I do have a new seat cover coming for the seat. The foam is real good in it. The hood is real good on this sled. I just have to do a little bit of fiberglass work in the hinge area. In 78 they put a metal plate in the hood to hold the hinge, and that's a little different, so I've got to reinforce that a little bit. But otherwise the hood is in really good shape. It will have to have all the decals removed and the new paint put on. And I have my graphic guy working on the graphics for this sled, so it should be really a sharp sled. The 78s had pretty low build numbers. I think there was less 340s than 440s, but why not have a 440 if you can have one, because they just got the oomph. They've got the Koritz liquid cooled engine in them, so they're quite an engine. So it's just a little update here of what's going on out here in the sled shed. But I do have another 78 I have to bring in and finish. I have to reinstall the hood and put the graphics on that one. But they're basically identical twins. This one had some dents in the belly pan, and of course it's a lot easier to work those out when you got the engine out, so I did remove all the dents in it. So it's got a great belly pan in it, and these all had aluminum tunnels, so it's really in good shape. And you've got the dimpled running boards, where in the 76 they had the foot pads. So everything is a little more unique on a 78. They're just a little bit, they started changing them, and then of course this was the last year of this model. Then they went into the I guess you would call it the third generation liquefiers, and I think I have an 80 that I'm working on that I'll be bringing in too. But 78's unique. They got a different color scheme on them that the other ones didn't have. So thanks for watching, and